Hello everyone and welcome to Daily Game Review number 88. Today we have Hojo 8Q versus Helix 9Q. So let's go ahead and get started. So interesting opening. It's nothing strange about it. It's just, it's on a different side of the board than we normally see. So we got a high Chinese and a low Chinese and a high approach. So um I'm not a big fan of making the Chinese against the Chinese due to the fact that I feel like black will have a slight advantage on the board since black played it first and black's getting to the other moves first. Um, it is of my opinion that black will get a little bit more than white or get to the moves faster than white, so black will have a slight advantage. So I usually prefer an approach or something. However, there's nothing wrong with it. But this move is not really a move against the Chinese opening. So the normal move against the Chinese opening is here or sometimes down here, but in this case there's a black stone. And then you could also just go in directly, also fine. Or you can just, since he approached, you can simply respond this way. And when he jumps back, then you can go in with some type of move. I'm not sure actually how this will affect the normal variation with the high Chinese. I don't play the high Chinese too often. However, I would say probably you want to go in now because if you let black get a Shamari with an extension on both sides, it's probably going to be a little bit good for black. But this one just seems really strange. So not only is the high approach to the star point not normally played due to the fact that it'll give black a big corner, but you're actually on black's side and you don't have a base, and it seems like black's going to have a very easy time attacking you. But let's see how black handles it in the game. Black chooses to try and steal the base, perfectly fine. White goes this way, black jumps. So even this, I think, is okay for black. Uh, yeah, I think this is okay for black. I think black feels a little bit comfortable here. An attachment on top, I don't recommend because black is strong all around, and this is cuttable. So white, if I was black, I would consider. I'm not sure if it's good just yet or not, but I would consider a cut here due to the fact that you can't kill either stone, and it looks like white's just going to get two weak groups. So I would be looking at a cut here. Otherwise, just get a Hane here and then Tiger's Mouth and get points, which is also fine. I would look at either of these and see if there's anything else I can do. But this shape looks really weak and really cuttable. Therefore, I don't recommend it for white. I think white should just simply jump out with something very quickly and Sabaki as fast as possible because it's very important to get to the bottom left as quickly as possible or on the bottom side. Because if you lose Sente here, black's going to get a very big territorial advantage. We'll see what black does. Black just simply backs off, perfectly fine. White plays, fixes the cut, and then black gets the forcing moves. And we see black making a very large position in the bottom left corner. So already I really like this board for black. Black has played very simply and taken a very nice lead. White, however, played a lot of really strange moves. You ignored the bottom right corner, and we know that the questions is fix your weaknesses first before leaving. And secondly, you invaded with a high move that was very easily attackable on the left side, and that also wasn't recommended. It's also not the normal moves against the Chinese opening. So I think white probably want to study more openings, and to do that, you can simply review pro games on a regular basis and get an idea of what josekis are chosen against which openings, and that should give you a better idea on how to play in the opening and how to pick your josekis. All right, but on this board, it looks like black is a little bit ahead. White does play a pincer now. Black chooses to go here and expand the bottom left corner, and likely he's going to play 3-3 after. I don't recommend a pincer here. This one's actually a little bit strange. So let's talk for a second. When there is a stone on both sides of the star point to take the base on both sides, normally you would not pincer due to the fact that white can simply 3-3 and you have no base on either side. So it looks like you can't have a base on this side because this is a little bit far. However, this stone will get in trouble. And normally the move is to surround, but what happens when you surround and I simply push and cut like so, and you're in trouble. However, on this board, I think it might be a little bit different due to the fact that black has such strong support. Now, granted, black did just play here, and then white jumped. So we have to take this into account. And there's some connection things ideas here. There's some run ideas here to take white's base. But a pincer here. Is it okay on this board? And normally it's not, but on this board specifically, I think it might be okay due to the fact that white is weak here. And so if white tries to take the 3-3 and I just jump here and you go to cut, well, actually, I'm not too concerned about this. I could even just give up the stone with something like this and attack this group while sacrificing the stone. And in this case, I think white would be in a bit of trouble. So I think white's too weak to actually pull this idea off. So maybe a pincer here is okay. So the other option would be for white to go here or some type of move like this. And then I suppose black is looking at a 3-3. Okay, this is the game. So actually, black played rather nicely here. He found an exception to the common shape here. So normally, the shape of the pincer is not good when there's a stone on both sides for white because the 3-3 is good for white. However, on this specific board, it seems like it's okay for black to do, and I think black found a very nice exception. So again, I think black is doing rather well, and white made another mistake. So it looks like the pincer here is maybe a little bit overplay if black can pull it off this way. I think locally the shape is actually here as well, and then black will through. So maybe this jump that I don't like, because if you play here, I think you have a little bit better shape and it's a little bit easier to deal with. Something like this. I think this would be a little bit better than the game. So if you want a pincer, then that would probably be the second choice. Yeah, another question would be, do you have to pincer? What if you just jump back and then black jumps back with some type of move? To here. And then you can go in. This might be possible. Maybe white didn't like it, so white chose this one. But I think if you choose this one, then you're going to need to play on top on this attachment right here. Because this looks like it's going to be good for black. Huh? This looks a little overplay. We'll see how black handles it. No, that's good for white. So normally you would Hane here. And then you could play here. Here. So can we just kill it? If we can just kill it, that'd be great. Hane. Looks really dangerous. So that means I think black should make an exchange first. Because if this Hane works for white, then probably we need to do something before letting that happen. And I think it would be this Hane. So if we go here and white cuts, then we can play this attachment here. And if white plays this way, we can play this and get a really nice position for black. Right? So white can't play the Hane, and then white would have to block here, and then you could Nobi down. And I think that might be a bit better. So maybe in exchanging the Hane first is good. So I think black probably didn't see the Hane, because if the Hane works, then black made a mistake, right? Here, though, I think after the mistake's been made, if there's no way to kill the stone, then probably you just want to sacrifice. Because at least this is better than the game. In the game, it looks like black's getting cut off and just dies in the corner. So this result looks good for white. Yeah, and there's no way to capture this in a ladder. So this result's good for white. So black made a little bit of a mistake. But globally, black's still doing okay. An approach here. This is unnecessary. I think black, you can simply play normal moves. Like, you could play just here. You could play here. You could even go in here. And you're going to be fine. Don't fear this move, guys. This is a common way to play in the Chinese opening. Like, there's a common variation. The variation's actually here, here, here. Hold on, not that one. This one. Like, this is a common way to play, and then you can simply live on the inside very easily. Or you can try and maybe use some Aji or something. But anyway, it depends on the board. But that's a common variation, and I think you should learn that variation because this is not a move that should be feared, and it looks like you're just afraid to go in. But if you play it this way, I can easily pincer and then fight with you here. And now I think this fight's going to be good for white. And this is exactly what white does. So this fight looks a little bit advantageous for white. However, black is not going to back down. He's going to threaten some influence, but does this... White has the ladder, right? So I think white can just push and cut. But white doesn't. I think white could have just pushed and cut. Let's see if I remember this ladder, because I know this used to be a ladder, but I don't play this one very often. Do I remember it, guys? Do I remember it? That is the question. So if we just fix... Black has to play... Oh, that doesn't feel right. I think that works for white, but... I cut through. And then here, here, here. Is this the ladder? Yeah, I think that might be the ladder. Maybe. I forget. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot what the ladder was. I think that might have been something similar to the ladder, but I haven't played this in a long time. I just know there's a ladder, so I would probably consider it. And I think if I played this in a game and I saw that and I couldn't remember what the ladder was, I would immediately look it up. And honestly, I should probably look it up later due to the fact that I simply forgot. But I know there is a ladder with this cut, so probably I wouldn't choose this Joseki. It's hard to say what's better though. Maybe just fight it out. Maybe just fight it out. Maybe a jump here. Fight. It's hard to say. I think this result's going to be good for white. Something should be good for white because, like I said, white was able to pincer, and I think this 017 move was wrong. Alright, so I played this way. Now black is going to get some influence. Black, watch your cutting points. There's no reason to leave cuts when you're winning and you aren't super strong, so just stay strong and you'll be fine. Here, white does the Hane, so you actually fix the cut white. It's kind of unfortunate, because if you had played here, I think there might be a cut here at some point, so I would definitely start reading these out. If you didn't see anything, then maybe it's okay, but I would definitely look at the cuts and try to read if I could take advantage of the cuts somehow, because those were definitely a thing. Normally you're supposed to get this cut through, right? So what if I just go here? Actually, if I do this first, what if I just go here? If you try to save it, I think that's an annoying cut for you. Yeah. So there's some cuts because you're supposed to get this zone. Like that's kind of the normal Joseki here. And this is result good for white. So maybe this Hane actually helped black a bit. Because now there's not really a cut that you can do immediately. Unless you want to make it a capturing race. If you want to make it a capturing race, you can do that. Maybe that's a little dangerous. I think it might work. But I think the other way was just easier and more straightforward. Here, though, it looks like white got a little bit scared. So white played this way. Normally, you would exchange this first and then go back. Because this is an important exchange, since it's Sente for you, Sente for white. And if black got it first, then black can block later in Sente as well. So this is kind of big in-game-wise, so it's worth getting. Alright, so black plays here, and I'm going to go ahead and say this game looks pretty over. Due to the fact that white has not stopped this bottom left corner. And black is still controlling the game. So white clearly does not have enough points. Yes, white got a big corner here, but black got a big side in exchange. So it's a little bit better for white than and the side compared to the corner is a little bit better for white, but this corner is much better than this corner. Not to mention black has this corner, and these stones don't have any points. So black should be up by quite a bit. Even if I'm not counting, I could say that black's up by quite a bit. And since black's controlling the flow, as long as black doesn't do anything crazy, and from what I've seen so far, black is a very solid player. So I don't see how black is going to lose this game. Um, let's see if there's anything else interesting. No, it looks like white just got cut and game over, right? So white, watch your cuts. Don't get cut so easily. Probably here you should have just fixed. But anyway, this looks. If you get cut here, it's game over. For extra game over. Like I thought it was almost game over before, but now it's definitely game over. All right, guys. For these two players, I recommend for white to go over some pro games, learn how to deal with the openings, and for black as well, actually, because you didn't know how to deal with the Chinese. So both players deal with the openings. Black had some very good shape this game and very solid. So I think black did much better than white. And as for white, probably work on your overall. I think really reviewing pro games will help you because you need some corner Josekis, some opening Fusekis, and some side Josekis. Because it looks like you didn't know the common shapes and common sequences. Both players, I think, didn't know about the ladder on top, though granted, I forgot about it as well, so I can't say too much. I just know the ladder exists. I just haven't seen it in several years. But anyway, I think for white, try to calm your game down and just play simpler. And I think reviewing Japanese pro games will help you with that. The Japanese have really good shape, and Koreans have really good reading. So I think for you, probably reviewing Japanese games will help. For black, learn some openings, review some Japanese games as well. And I think black, you're doing well. Just keep doing what you're doing. I think this was kind of one-sided. Work on your reading and your Joseki because in the bottom right, it looks like your reading was a little lacking. But other than that, I think black played pretty well. All right, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.